Hello, 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 and welcome to Nom Watch Review, part of Nom Talk Network. On the show, we review the latest film drop or maybe a throwback, celebrating a milestone while eating our favorite foods and drinks and drinking our favorite drinks that we usually do when we watch movies. Because who doesn't watch a movie while eating and drinking? Crazy people. No, I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I am your host, Stephanie, and today I am enjoying some shaved ice that's heckin' melted, but it's a-okay. It just makes it easier to drink. But I also have a lavender milk tea with some chocolate jelly, because I used to drink boba all the time in the 2000s, so why not? But I am very, very, very excited to introduce some of our guests. Let's say hello to the lovely Miss Yaya.
Hi. Hello, hello. I'm so glad to be back. So today I am super Asian now, super Chinese out. I am having 卤肉饭, which is basically like braised meat with like rice. And in honor of Mei Mei's mom, I'm having herbal tea.
Mm. It's for those it's for those cramps.
It's for those cramps.
I'm so weird. We also brought back Kenji, actor, cosplayer Kenji.
So glad to be back. Thank you so much for having me again.
Yeah.
I am not eating anything right now, and after hearing your menu, I am hungry as heck now. But I am about to crack open a Spindrift to drink, so I'm excited to have that.
Noise. And I am so happy to introduce a longtime friend of mine. He's an actor, a producer, a director, a writer, the most talented of all talents, JP.
Hi. Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to meet everybody and to be on here. Yeah. So what do I have on my menu? I have my strawberry acai refresher from the Bucks. Because that's my favorite. And then, of course, one of my favorite go-tos is New York style pizza. So I got my big old pizza slice from Joe's on Hollywood Boulevard. And then I have a little bit of a chocolate pie. So I'm good to go.
Oh my God.
It's Friday. So I'm going for all the junk food.
Oh, it sounds so good. Oh my God.
I'm just sitting here doing nothing with my stomach. I will say that my favorite Starbucks is like that pink drink. Have you had that one?
Yes.
So good.
I found one of those like strawberry pink like carton looking things from Hot Topic. It just screws open. It's like plastic. And I bought the pink drink from Starbucks just to put in the cup. Because you can't be basic without pulling a stunt like that. Oh my gosh.
I just learned that Starbucks actually has a Pokemon Go drink, and it's like legit. Yeah. It's really good too. Yeah.
Oh my
really?
Gosh.
Yeah,
what does it look like? Like,
what is it made with? It's made with like, I want to say like the dragon fruit, so it's kind of purplish.
Okay.
But it's blended. It's really, really good.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Try that next time.
Nice. Oh my God. Now I want to try it, but I have like obviously you gotta play Pokemon Go if you're gonna get a Pokemon Go drink.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's check in real quick with the chat. Hey, Eva Macias Art. I love the pink drink and Pokemon Go drink? Question mark. Yes, Eva. Eva, check it. Eva, she's one of my old coworkers from Universal, so you harass them and be like, "Where's that Pokemon drink?" Because Universal Studios is like a hubbalub of Pokemon stops and the best way you can crack your eggs and all that. But I digress. Tonight we are super excited to be talking about Turning Red, a Disney Pixar animated film with the director who did Bao, the Pixar short, and it was so flippin' magical as it was. And so let's dive in, because I know we got a lot to talk about, and I know we don't get a lot of time. Sad. But first and foremost, we always like to rate movies out of 5 buckets of popcorn, 5 being the best movie on the planet, and you can even do 0. We've actually done 0 before.
Mhm.
It's very tragic. But it happens. 1 is like a meh, no thank you, and 0, which we put a big solid red X on the screen for boo boo movie, never again. I wasted this amount of time just watching it kind of situation. But I don't think we're in that position right now. So let's go around the table and talk and tell us out of 5 popcorn buckets, what would you rate this film? Let's go ahead and start with JP.
Me first. All right.
Surprise.
So I know I wanted to do like a 3.5, but I'm gonna end up going with like my 3 buckets of popcorn. It wasn't something that was extremely phenomenal in my opinion, and it wasn't something that was extremely like horrible, but it was entertaining. So it's like right there.
Okay, 3 buckets. Not too bad. Not too bad. Yaya, what would you rate this film?
I also gave it a 3. I also wanted to do a 3.5 because I felt like 3 was a little low, but 4 was too high. Mostly because it was like the beginning was good. The ending for me, that's what got me. That's what lowered my to yeah.
I get that. I see that. All right, Kenji?
I kind of there. I originally had said 3, but then I was going 3.5. But then of course, like the thing is, I also didn't want to like. I always round up, unfortunately, so I end up going with the 4. And but the thing is, I still really liked the movie. It was a fun movie. I had a lot of fun watching it. It had great moments. We like the people I watched it with, we laughed our asses off. But unfortunately, it just didn't pull the heartstrings like a lot of like what I'm expecting from a Pixar movie, and it wasn't. Like my girlfriend and I, we and her roommate, we all talked about it. We're like, that wasn't. It didn't pull as much as we thought it would, like Wall-E and like Soul did. So that's why I wanted to give it a 3.5, but I'm generous.
Oh, so generous.
So much
Okay.
popcorn. Have all this popcorn you want.
Well,
Wait for you at the movie theater.
all right, that's fair. I would have to rate it a 4 just because I am from that era, and I feel like, being I guess according from my mom's side, I'm the firstborn in the States, and there was a lot of culture clashing, for like wanting to embrace my roots, but also I'm in the United States and there are boy bands and millennial fun things and Tamagotchis. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it just like Kenji, when you said it didn't really kick you guys as hard as you thought it would, it kicked me pretty hard.
Kind of same situation.
But let's see.
I
Audience,
think that would
everybody.
make sense though. Sorry. I
No.
think that would make sense though because the movie was female powered. It was about femininity and everything like that. So in my opinion, it would make sense that the girls would really be able to attach themselves to that story,
Oh, absolutely.
More so than the guys.
Well, I definitely agree with that. I could agree that could possibly be it, but I mean, there were like also some things just like culturally, like just there was a moment when I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this. When at the end when the mom goes, "I'm sorry that I made you made you feel like that you had to be so hard on yourself." Maybe it's because my mom's a different she's Japanese. Maybe it's a little bit different. Maybe it's a different whole thing. But she would go, "If I made you feel so hard on yourself, good." I did. Like you should be hard on yourself. Like you should never settle. You should always aim high. Always be hard on yourself. So like for me, like I actually out loud laughed when she said, "I'm sorry." I was like, "I would never."
With the Latino community though too. They don't have any apologies from them.
Exactly. I mean, it's one of those things where like I guess because it's like it's one of, but that's the thing though. It's like a Disney. It's like almost like a fairy tale. It is. So we get to have like those endings and we get to hear those things that we wish we could hear. So like in a way, I guess like would be kind of like good to hear about it. Like, but it would be great to hear our parents say, "I'm sorry for that." I mean, there's always a yearning for that approval. Oh my God, the whole thing about approval. Oh my God. Like, I definitely identified with that a lot. So like, so like, I'm not necessarily saying that, it didn't pull my heartstrings, but it just didn't pull it as hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like piggyback off of that though, it kind of goes with the theme of the movie though, like with ending these multi-generational traumas of these unrealistic expectations that keep getting passed down like it's a family tradition. At least we now have we have Turning Red, we have Coco, we have Encanto, all talking about these issues. And this is just, I think it's really great that Disney and Pixar, especially with Turning Red, they were able to continue that train going with actually just acknowledging it and starting the conversation.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. And before we get even further into this rabbit hole of the Turning Red, people that are tuning in and watching right now, thank you for watching. Throw your rating in the chat as well. I would love to see what everybody else thinks of this movie. But let's go ahead and dive in, because right there, you brought intergenerational trauma. You brought up the other movies that in the Disney franchise that have been bringing that awareness around. So let's talk a little bit about the story and how you felt about it. Yaya, do you want to start?
Well, as I said, like for me, the beginning of the story was great. Like, I loved it. And my favorite part was like they try to be really, really accurate. Like, if you look at the scroll in their in the temple and everything, and like the story of like Sun Yi, I was like, dang, you can tell it's the Ming Dynasty. It was awesome because with like, okay, I'm gonna be mean, but with films like Mulan, you couldn't tell which dynasty it was. It was like a mishmash of like everything. But with this one, I was like, I looked at the scroll, I looked at the thing, I was like, one, if you look at you can tell it's Ming Dynasty because from her outfit, she's wearing an Aoqun and a Ma Mianqun, and that's like very, very distinctive, like Ming Dynasty, especially that scene where they're like, oh, there was like fighting, and you see a flag that the soldier's holding. It has a Ming, which is a sun character and a moon character, and that's of course the Ming Dynasty. Is the Ming, like bright Ming. So I love that. I loved everything about the beginning. And as like, I very much like, my mom wasn't as strict as like, Mei's mom was. It was more that whole, oh, you got to do this traditional, you have to be that. And I think I'm a little too traditional now, because towards the end, I was like, her friends were like, yeah, we love this rebellious side of you. And then I'm like sitting here, I'm like, if I were her mom, I would never let her hang out with those kids anymore. I'm like, there's a limit to letting your children express themselves. And then you have like, yeah, we love that you're sneaking out of your house. We love that, like, we're seeing. I'm like, no, 不行啊，小孩啊，不行啊，回家。Anyways, go home. You're out too late. Anyway, so that's why I did really enjoy the beginning, but towards the end, I felt it was a little bit too much of the stereotypical, tradition versus Western culture, and the whole like, oh, you have to go against traditional. And it's a little, I guess it's because I'm a little bit more traditional, because I do focus on like Chinese history, tradition, and that kind of stuff. But at the end, I got too stereotypical, like, oh my gosh, like, oh, we can mix everything and everything is fine. And then the mom lets her go out, and I'm like, Asian moms now.
For reals, though. My mom would be like, and no the hell you're not, unless
Right?
it's a church thing. Dude, if it was a church thing and I'm like, hey mom, I'm gonna be gone for a week, it's a church thing, she'd be like, okay, that's cool, have fun, Jesus loves you. What?
Yeah. Like when she yelled at her mom, I'm like, where's the feather duster? And then like towards the end, she was like, yeah, my panda, my body, like whatever. And I was like, oh my God, no. Girl, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. This one was just kind of like it speaks to me, but at the same time, I was like,
It's like I feel like what us as the children wish our parents did and said
Yes.
and responded.
You know it's a fairy tale.
We know.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. JP, what about you? How did you feel with the story?
I have to agree. The beginning was really strong. I did get a little bit of a disconnect as the movie continued. I got a little confused as to what they were trying to talk about and what the message was, and where this fable, this fairy tale, where it was actually going, what it was trying to prove. It just kind of seemed like by the end, we were kind of taken down like this whirlwind tunnel of all these different ideas being thrown at us as to what the meaning is. Because like, yeah, like my panda, my choice. I'm like, okay, my body, my choice type of thing right there. And then you have the thing at the beginning talking about like the girl getting her period with all the maxi pads and everything. And then and then you have like the thing with the getting rid of the panda with the weird portal mirror thing. And it was kind of like I got a little confused towards the end. It wasn't very focused for me. However, it was really great. Like I said, I liked talking about them talking about the multi-generational trauma. I thought it was kind of funny that they had to make it very apparent that they were in Canada, though. They lived in Canada because that little girl, she was wearing Canadian t-shirts. She was wearing Canadian beanies. You had Canada flags all over the place. I'm like, oh, you would think they were American with how much they were like throwing the Canadian maple leaf in your face, you know? So I'm like, okay, we get it. You're in Canada.
In case you didn't remember, we're in Canada.
Just the
like
education.
Part of me was actually hoping like instead of like my dad's from Toronto, so I was actually hoping more like instead of her wearing like probably had something to do with licensing, but I was kind of hoping that she would have worn like a Maple Leafs shirt, like an actual like Canadian, like the Toronto Maple Leafs hockey team shirt. I mean, yeah, they're not that great, but it's the pride, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's true. It was so funny because at one point I was like, why is she wearing this red maple leaf t-shirt with the orange hair? And then when I started watching it, like Toronto, Canada. I know it's Canada. For the record, I know it's Canada. I just love calling it Canadian. Please don't hate me. But it's just like when she started listing off the colonies or like the different states of Canada, I was like, okay. You could stop. Okay. Okay. Are you sure? Right. Like exactly what y'all were talking about of how like they had to really emphasize that they were in Canada. It was just hilarious. But I do agree how like especially closer to the end, my biggest beef in the story was how the family doesn't know what she experienced in that little like portal world. I'll call it the spirit realm. We'll call it the spirit realm. Like nobody knows what happened and nobody knows how she felt. Nobody knows how conflicted she was. So when she came out, she was like, I'm going to the concert. Like, okay, you could have at least told them, I like me. I like this thing and I want to just go. Let me be free or whatever. But no, we got the boo-hoo, I want to go to the concert and meet the man that I love who's never going to see me as a person because he's so famous, but I love him so much. But I mean, at the same time, we wouldn't have gotten that giant war, the giant battle, if she didn't act stupid like that. Like Kenji, you brought it up.
Yeah, I loved that. Like I was not expecting like once I saw like the mom like got her like spirit animal and I saw that it became big, I was like, no. I thought it was great. Like I mean, I would say like I love the designs of like I love how like each of the different raccoon spirits that that each of the family members had was a little bit different, like design wise. Red Panda.
Yeah, I was like, first off, how dare?
What did I say again?
You called it a raccoon?
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
See, this is how you know Kenji's in the United States.
Yeah. This is how you know that this is how you know I'm Japanese. uh, we're ignorant, anyways. Well, no, like yeah, the red panda. Like I liked how each of the different red pandas were like had a different design to it. Like I'm sorry, like that's the thing. It looked like tanuki to me. Like so that's why I call it the red panda. I call it a panda. But yeah, it definitely like the red pandas. I love that each one had its own designs. I love that the mom had its own like. It definitely you could tell like hers was like more similar to the one from the scroll, and I love that. Like I love that there's like a uniqueness. They didn't kind of like it wasn't vanilla across them all. Like each one had a unique zest to it. Yeah.
Oh, 100. But here, let's I is there anything that you guys want to mention about the story before we move on to this next segue?
The one part I thought was interesting was that they used text messaging because I didn't use text messaging until much later.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really liked it. Like I didn't use text messaging probably until like maybe 07, 08.
Because it was
Yeah.
10 cents a text.
It was 10 cents a text, exactly.
And you had to push the button 4 times to get 1 letter.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, I will say. It was Go ahead.
Sorry, go. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no,
go
I was
ahead.
going to say, I will say it was pretty easy to text your friends under the desks without getting caught because you'd have to memorize how many times to punch each
That's
number.
true.
So, like, you wouldn't even need to see it. Like, we didn't have autocorrect. Like, you can... Duck was not part of its vocabulary if you didn't want it to.
Oh
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I think for me with what I saw that I lost my train of thought. What I saw was like kind of like was the temple. So traditionally Chinese temples, they're like, I understand it was supposed to be like, yeah, we understand not just the like male, like not just the guys. There was to be like, oh, we worship the female ancestors too. But I thought it was okay. One, traditionally, usually when you have ancestors, Tai Chi grandma, when you have the ancestors, like it's for your own personal shrine. It's not going to be a public temple. Because usually public temples where you have people come in, it is meant to worship a deity, not your ancestors. The only time that you have when you go to a temple and there isn't a deity for you to worship are death temples. And that's usually where people like bring like families that can, or like people that don't have places to be buried will be cremated and held at those temples. You don't go to those temples. Those temples are really like heavy energy. Those are not meant for people to go to. So when I saw that, I was kind of like, that's not right. That was too much. But yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think of it. I didn't think of that at all. Like, huh. Well, that makes their little temple a little creepier now, doesn't it?
But it looks so nice.
I know they're having people come worship their ancestors, and I'm like, that's not a thing we do.
And immediately I just thought of this anime about like temple gods and deities that lose their like power and significance when people stop worshiping them or offering things to them. So now I'm thinking like this family's family lineage are probably like big bosses out there in the afterlife.
Yeah.
It also kind of reminded. I also think that the way that she would like transform when she would get excited. I mean, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Fruits. Has anyone seen Fruits Baskets?
Yes.
Like it reminded me a lot of Fruits Baskets in a few ways, and but yeah, like I mean, I thought it was. I mean, I had a lot of fun with the story. I thought it was cute. I definitely thought it was a cute story. I had fun with it for sure. I mean, it ended with a kaiju battle that came out of nowhere. I loved it.
So for those that are tuning in right now, this is Nom Watch Review. We've watched Turning Red, so we are reviewing it, hence the title, first word, spoilers. Because if you didn't watch the movie and you have no idea the premise of the film, guess what? You're going to find out now. But before we move on, I'm going to check in with the chat. Eva.
Chat.
The chat. We got a chat. Eva said a 4 for me. I was 14 or 15 in that time, and the only thing I wish was that it was 2D for the details and the emotions. And she also said, yes, the ending was too Hollywood happy type ending. And we've got Liza, or
Liza.
Liza, perfect. Liza said, I kept feeling like the use of the word panda was a euphemism. And Eva said, that's where I felt disconnected. My parents would have killed me if I did that, probably going out and throwing a little fit. Liza said they kept talking about womanhood and the red peony blooming, and I nearly dropped my ice cream. They were all, don't show your panda to the world. And I was like, she sent a lot of emojis, but it's like a shock face, a drunk face. Is that a licky face?
Yeah.
Licky face. But yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the red peony. Is that a thing?
No, you know what we call periods? Like the slang for it? Like, oh, my big aunt came, 大姨妈, which is like my oldest aunt came. That's usually we don't really do like, oh my god, the red peony. That's not a thing. At least it's not a thing that I've ever heard. That was
Maybe it's Canadian.
Maybe it's Canadian. It's Canadian Chinese.
It's a Canadian thing.
Right. Now it's like, yeah, it's probably a Canadian Chinese thing. But Liza, you're just in, so hi, welcome. We did rate the movie, 5 popcorn buckets being the best movie. So definitely throw your rating in there as well. We would love to see what you think of the film. But let's go ahead and move over to, I don't even know who these women are, who the voice actresses are behind the voices all that much, because I'm a horrible person. But it did remind me of my family, and I really appreciated all the different styles of outfits that they were wearing.
No, I'm not Chinese, but I definitely grew up with some Chinese friends, and I definitely got to hang out with their families, and it definitely reminded me of some of the aunties that I've seen growing up, for sure.
Yeah, I grew up in an area where we had a lot of Filipino, a big, large Filipino population. And so I grew up with like, oh, this is so-and-so, but just call her auntie. So I have like all these little Filipino aunties running around. I would go to karaoke, and there was this group of these older Filipino ladies that would come, and they would buy us beers. And every time they came in, they had things of lumpia and pancit. They had cake and cookies and everything. And you walked in, you're like, oh, the aunties are here. They're like, oh, come over, come on. I know you're hungry. And they're just feeding you, just like in the movie. And you just love it. And like, I just love it because like, they don't even give you like a little slice of cake. They'd bring birthday cake for somebody, and it wasn't a little slice. It was like as big as your face, because they wanted to make sure that you knew how much they loved you, and that's what we know them as, the aunties.
Yeah, I genuinely feel like the aunties will show you how much they love and care for you by how much food they give you.
Yep.
Right.
No, like legit, when I was watching it with my cousin last night at midnight when it came out, and I saw the aunties, and immediately I was like to my cousin, I'm like, that's King Yi. That looks exactly like King Yi. Yi means like King Yi, it's like a great auntie, and then like I was like, that one looks like Xing Yi Ma. That one looks like Hai. And like they legit look like my aunties. I wish I have a photo of my aunties right now to show you, because I'm like, if I pulled it up, you'll be like, yeah, that's King Yi and Hai. And my cousin was like laughing because she was like, yes, it does look like them. Oh my god. And then so I love that they did the whole like, oh, like she looks like her dad. No, she looks like her mom. Or like, did you gain weight? Did you lose weight? It's even though it's so stereotypical, but I'm like, that's exactly what they do when they come to your house.
100. 100. And if it's okay, because I don't know. There's that gray area of where I can easily offend a human being. So I apologize in advance. But just based off of like their personalities, how they came off, do you have a family member? Because Yaya, you already said like it was your entire, like they looked like the people in your family. But for Kenji and JP, do you have a family member that you immediately thought of as soon as you saw them?
JP, you can go. You first, by all means.
I saw a lot of my grandma. I was raised by my grandmother as well, and I saw a lot of my grandmother in there, just with the grandmother herself in this little short film. Yeah, and just like the expectations, they're really tough exterior, but deep down, they're like the softest person in the entire world.
Aww.
But yeah, and then my grandma also will be flat out. I'll go home for a visit from LA or something. She's like, "Oh, you look fat. You need to eat better." Or I'll go home like, "You lost too much weight. You need to eat pizza." So, yeah, I always get the weight thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that cursed weight stories. Kenji.
So, uh, personally, like I don't have like aunts, like blood related aunts on my Japanese side, but I definitely do have a lot of like my mom's friends who are very much like those aunties. And the cool thing is like some of them are second generation Japanese, some are first generation Japanese. But it's really cool. Like they definitely like, oh, you look so. The what I usually get is, oh, you're so half. You're so half, aren't you? Like they see me for the first time, they go, "You're so half." I'm like, okay. But then of course, as you start seeing them, they definitely start asking like, "You look good," or "You look like you've lost too much weight. Are you eating okay?" Like I remember one time, someone asked me like, "Are you eating okay?" And I said like, "Oh, I just started like started going to college." So like they like sent me home with like snacks and stuff, and like I didn't tell my mom because it's like if you tell like I thank them numerous times, but you're supposed to let your moms know so that way they can thank them back even more so. Like you're not, you know, Asians gifting each other things. It's like a horrible battle. It's like they always try to.
And it escalates. And it's like
So-
escalates and it's like, wait, they gave you $200. I gotta give $400 back.
For real. Oh my God. I hate Christmas and Mother's Day because my mom's like, "Oh, thank you so much for my super modest gift. Do you know what my friend's daughter gave her? A Chanel bag." And I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry, Mom. I did not want to stab people with needles for a living." Oh my gosh.
My mother. What's weird is like my mom used to be like, "I hope you like." When I was growing up, she'd be like, "I hope you're able to buy me nice gifts and stuff like that." But now I think because she knows how like how I really am, how much money I'm really making. She's like, you don't need to get me gifts. Don't get me gifts, please. I'm just going to have to pay for it later. Just don't get me gifts. So like she's like, just make me gifts now. So like one year I got her like I got her a photo album. Like I just like the photo album was the only thing that cost money, and she like I like put all of our photos in it, and I just kind of left her speechless on Christmas one day. And I remember that one. That made me feel good because no, but yeah, anyways.
Right. If you can't gift her with monetary items, you gotta gift her with heartstring tugging.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right.
Those things that you don't have.
Kenji went there. Kenji went
Oh.
there. Oh my God. Let's check in with Liza. Liza said, "I'll give it a 3. It was cute. 3 popcorns." And Eva said, "Oh my God, the aunties. I loved them." And I honestly would love to grow up and be one of them aunties. Not the one that's like, "You've gained weight." Just be like, "Hey there, how you been doing? You good? Do you need water?" Because I always ask people, "Do you need water? Do you need socks?" Like, that's just me now. I'm like, "Are you hungry?" Like, I have another PA that works with me on a different show. And like yesterday he asked, he's like, "Steph, you said you had a bag of chocolate somewhere, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, can I have a piece of chocolate?" Dude, it was Jefferson, Kenji. It was Jefferson. He asked me for a piece of chocolate, and I had a piece of chocolate.
Does G4 not have Crafty?
We do, but at the same time, our desks are like far away from the crafties. Like they're on the other side of the building. Sometimes we don't want to walk all the way over there for a piece of chocolate. So.
You need to hoard like a rat. You need to hoard like a beaver in winter, Jefferson. You just gotta just put it in your hovel in your desk.
Yeah, Jefferson, that's what I do. What's up? Hey, Steph, I need you to go to Studio A. All right, cool. Let me go grab some sodas and I'll take this like fruit baggie and some Reese's. Okay, bye.
Oh, I mean, when I'm working on set, like I literally like because I've tried to limit the amount of times I walk down there too. So I put like 2 soda bottles, and then and then I put like like chocolate bars in there, and I just stay in my lockup for a good 4 hours. Like, wait, we're breaking for lunch. Okay, we're breaking for lunch. Okay, there you go.
And then like on my way out of the studio before I go home, I grab a can, I put it in my pocket. I'm gonna drink this later.
I'm so guilty of that. I've definitely taken I think this pack of bazooka is actually from Sad Action now that I think about it.
Oh my gosh. Let's see, Eva. I needed more aunties like that in my life. Mine, the majority are evil, or see me as a snake in the middle of the road, old-fashioned Mexican family. LOL. LOL? Girl, what do you mean LOL?
Oh
I'll
my
be your
God.
auntie.
Damn.
I'll be your auntie.
I know we're the
I'll
same
be
age.
your
I will be
auntie.
your auntie.
We will be your aunties. I will feed you. Make
Throw
sure
me
you
some
eat.
lip gloss. I'll be an auntie too.
Yeah, right? Eva, we got you. We'll be your
Mhm.
aunties.
I'll be an auntie.
This is Nom Talk Network. Okay, we will provide.
We
Yes.
will be your titos and titas.
Yes.
There you go.
All right. A huge critical role for all films is the acting in the films. Now, with animated films, I understand it could be a little more challenging to be able to portray an emotion or deliver a line without using your face, but using your body, like your
Mhm.
body, your voice, how you emphasize things. So let's talk about the acting. Because Sandra Oh was Mama. Oh,
Mhm.
I love Sandra Oh. Go, Mama. So let's dive in. Let's go into the acting. Kenji, it looked like you were ready to like go.
No, I mean, just Sandra Oh is just phenomenal. Whatever she does, she's an amazing comedic actress. She's also an amazing serious actress as well. Like, I also loved her work in Invincible. I don't know, she played the mom in that as well. I mean, I feel like I've never seen her put out really a bad performance, even if like a project wasn't good, she would. I don't know. I haven't seen her entire catalog, but every time I've seen her do something, she's amazing. Like Prince, I always think of Princess Diaries and stuff like that. We don't have any finer china. I'm so sorry.
That audio. I love the people on TikTok that pick up their animals.
The cats, it's like cupped up. Mhm.
Kapta.
Mhm. The queen is coming.
I love it. And it's Sandra Oh, y'all. You little children out there that are listening to the old auntie over here. It's Sandra Oh, okay, so respect.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I also I felt like there was great vocal talents just all around. Like, I wish I had learned everyone else's names as well who were in it. Like, obviously we got the person who played Mr. Gao.
James Hong.
He's a veteran in
James.
the world, in acting and cinema and all that stuff. Like, he was in Big Trouble in Little China. Like, he's like you have even though you didn't, it was one of those things where it's like, if you looked on IMDb, you end up finding out this is a stellar ass cast. Like, damn, and and of course it kind of showed. The performances were great. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and of course, it's really sad that Sandra Oh is really the only one I can call by name, though. Anyways.
We're always gonna remember the queen.
Mm-hmm.
We'll always remember the queen.
Eliza. Oh, I love Sandra Oh's acting. As always, the queen is coming. Haha, Princess Diaries, classic indeed. Let's see, who else was Rosalie Chang? She's new. Like, I looked on her IMDb, she only has 4 or 5 credits.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's a new baby. But she's the main character for those of y'all that don't know. And let's see, Abby, who is the Korean friend, is Hyun Park, who I believe is one of the animators or something. She's definitely in the art department. So the fact that I love that Pixar will grab people in different departments. Like, I'm sorry, your voice sounds right. Come on, come with me. We're going. You're going in the voice box. You're going in the voice box now.
Absolutely. It's actually not the first time they've done that. They did that with Monsters Incorporated. They also did that with The Incredibles. Violet was an animator, and you didn't file your paperwork. That's also an animator.
Roz. And in Zootopia, the mob possum's daughter was an assistant or something.
Oh, no way. That's awesome.
Right?
So I'm
So
going
you-
to get my, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
going to get my Master of Fine Arts right now in writing for theater and media. And honestly, one of my instructors was like, if you're going to go do a summer internship, because we have to do 3 of them in the next 3 years, go work for Disney or Pixar if you possibly can, because they will pull you and you will be able to make like an okay living with the writing and then also doing these voiceovers for them if you fit the role. So they actually do, like, they're known for it, and they're telling us like, look for these internships because you don't know what that's going to lead to down the road. But yeah.
Exactly. 100% JP. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to throw in my Sandra Oh love too. I am a huge fan of Killing Eve, and I love Sandra Oh. So it was really great seeing like a more soft side of her, I guess, in this film, instead of seeing her being so like Killing Eve or what was it, ER? She was on ER, right?
Yeah.
She's also Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's
There you
Anatomy.
go. Grey's
Oh,
Anatomy.
okay.
Can I be that person though?
Yes, be the person.
Okay.
About the
I love Sandra Oh. Amazing actress. I love her work too. I love her as Christina in Grey's Anatomy. But can I be that person? Like now she's in like every Asian film. She's kind of like the female Kenji. Like the part to the point that, you know, it's supposed to be like, okay, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm always type of like, oh, why couldn't he hire like a Chinese, like, you know, voice actress and that kind of stuff? Like, I love her. I think she did an amazing job. I think she killed it. You know, I wouldn't replace her, but at the same time, it's kind of like she's in like everything that's Chinese or Asian in general. And I think it's kind of like, I understand like 1, she is Asian, and 2, they're definitely using her name to like pull people in to watch. So I'm just kind of, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, oh, like, you know, and a Chinese voice actress could have like, you know, benefited from this film too, kind of thing. Like, that's just me though, personally. But I'm like that with every film. Like, I will look at the cast, I'm like, okay, you're perfect for this. You're this, like, you know, thing. You're good. And I'm personally like that. But I did love her. Did love her.
Now that you say that, I think the only person that I would actually would have been cool to see instead would probably been Ming-Na Wen. Like with Mulan.
My queen.
Would have loved
My
her. Or
My queen,
Michelle
my
Yao.
goddess.
Or Michelle Yeoh, yeah,
Michelle
exactly. She was
Yeoh.
fantastic too.
Yeah. See, Eunice, yeah. Now that you mentioned that she's like basically the token Asian actress, I was like going through the IMDb and I was like, oh my god, she wasn't Over the Moon and Raya, like Invincible.
She's in everything.
I see. Okay, I see.
Yes.
I get what you're saying. I feel the same exact way with Lin-Manuel Miranda. I feel like he's just in everything. And if I find out he's in one more damn Disney movie or any movie, I will not go see it because I am burnt out with Lin-Manuel Miranda. So I completely get what you were saying. I won't go see Hamilton because I can't do it.
Oh no.
No. If you're gonna see anything, at least see Hamilton.
Yes,
But like I will say
yeah.
that my girlfriend Liza, who's in the chat, she was saying we were watching Tick Tick Boom, and she went, "This sounds like if like Lin-Manuel Miranda tried to write Rent," and I went, "Well, fun fact."
Oh, that's what I mean, though.
Oh my god. Freaking dead, man.
Like, we had like a great moment. We had to like pause the movie for a second because like I was dying. She was blown away. She was like, wait, I was like saying that like as like kind of like a joke, borderline like insult. Like I was like, no, it's fucking great.
Oh my god. So,
Yeah.
JP, question.
Yeah.
Do you plan on watching the live action Little Mermaid?
Yes. I want to see that so well. I mean, for obvious reasons, I'm kind of like, but I have to see it. I mean, Haley, we're getting a Black mermaid. We have to, like, that is something that we just have to be able to support, especially with me coming from an area of being ethnic, an ethnic group, and just the representation that we just need in these films. I mean, come on, a multicultural Cinderella with Brandy and Oh my God, and Whitney Houston, that was epic. Bernadette Peters, that was epic. So I'm hoping that this is going to be like another one of that because that's my favorite Cinderella.
Okay. No, I'm super stoked.
Yeah.
It's just he's a producer and a composer for The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, we'll see. As long as he's not acting in it, or as long as it's not like Moana-esque, because everything sounds like it's Moana.
I feel like he's gonna try and pigeonhole himself as Sebastian.
Right.
Ariel, what are you doing? What are you doing, Ariel? Come on,
Right.
go on to the sea.
I mean,
Or he could be the seagull.
oh, he's gonna take Aquafina's
that
gig.
would be funny. I would actually love that. That's way better. That's way better. I mean, obviously that's better casting, but I don't think he's gonna do that.
Yeah. Oh man.
I will say, I'm excited. I'm actually right there with you about like the casting, because a part of me is like, sometimes like, working on set, I'm like, wow, sometimes I'm like, I would love to like be in like a period piece story, but like, like it doesn't necessarily, always happen, but like, but to see like something like Disney trying to do something that's usually so traditionally done a certain way to try and, I mean, I know a lot of people are getting upset by it. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's the liberals, they're changing everything. But honestly, it's kind of something that we'd like to see, because I remember as a kid not really having a lot of superheroes growing up to watch. Like my heroes were the recycled footage from the Power Rangers, with the original Asian actors. Like, so I'm right there with you. Like the whole idea of the representation thing, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's not like we're like pieces of popcorn that just popped out of nowhere. I mean, we've always been a part of history. So it's like, why is this a surprise and a liberal thing? We've been here. Being Mexican is not liberal. Asian is not a liberal thing.
You just haven't noticed us. We've just
It's like, wow, you went past your little white picket fence and see all the colors and you don't like it? Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Like it when we're doing your laundry and mowing your yard.
I mean, let's not even talk about how sometimes Asian moms can even be on that side of the fence too sometimes. But like, I was actually really surprised they really didn't mention that. They kind of steered away from some of that.
I don't think they could have. I think
she was so ready to like call these people like they're gyrating, they're doing this, they're doing that. And it's like, you're not mentioning the one thing that the generational gap has that we have been trying to teach that generation about, like, this isn't cool and stuff, So like, I mean, maybe she's more woke, but she still finds those boys to be gyrating their hips. And
she did marry someone her mom didn't approve of, so.
Well, that is true. So, yeah. Maybe,
Trying to get the rebel out of your rebel child. Get out of here.
I think that was a miss for the film too, is like seeing the backstory between the dad and the mother. Like they really missed a good shot with that, I think.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen more about the dad, but I get it. Like this movie, it's all about like the female empowerment and the female issues. So you don't really want to take away from that. So I can't really complain too much, but hearing more from the dad would have been great.
Did you see the mid-credit scene though?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No?
What?
There's a mid-credit scene, and it's the dad.
It's the dad in the basement with all the
Fort Town. He's like just
merchandise and just jamming out.
Oh, no, I didn't see it now.
I missed it.
Looks like y'all gonna have to watch it again.
gotta watch it again.
I know, huh? Oh my god!
Yeah.
I love that.
It's so upsetting.
Oh my gosh.
Man,
I think we're talking.
Oh,
Oh no, I just looked at the time. I was like, Jesus, already?
Dang.
Fudge nugget. All right,
no,
well,
let's go a little longer.
Yeah.
a little longer.
We were a little
I'm
late. Let's go a little longer.
I didn't write the call sheet for tomorrow morning. We're good. No, but let's, oh gosh, just shout out. Let's go, like, not like, say it all really quick and then move on. No, I don't have the attention span. I don't have the capability of spitting like rhymes and stuff. So like real quick,
We're not Lin-Manuel Miranda.
we're not Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Nope.
I could have been like 20 years ago when my brain was faster, but not anymore.
Next thing you know, after this Twitch like stream, it's gonna say produced by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I'm gonna do
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
We don't have a name on this.
But let's go ahead and defend our rating. So it seems like everybody, or no, we kind of split down the middle because Kenji rated up and everybody else had to just rate down because I did not make half popcorn buckets. I did not, and I apologize. But let's go ahead and go over our ratings real quick. We'll start with JP. Why did you rate it a 3? And you may have mentioned a few times a little bit, but I would like to hear your defense.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said before, I gave it 3. I didn't find anything too exciting about the film, but yet it wasn't something that was like I wanted to go and puke and never see again and wishing that I would have gotten my 90 minutes back, you know? There were moments that really did touch my heart. Like I got a little teary-eyed kind of towards the end, even though I was confused. So I don't know if I was teary-eyed because of the confusion or because of the emotional stakes at the end. But I did get teary-eyed.
Aww.
I mean, and there were some really great characters in there. They had, like I said, I love the dad, I love the aunties. I always love all the secondary characters anyway. So yeah.
Yeah.
A solid 3. Right in the middle.
Okay. Yaya?
So I gave it a 3 as well. And I was debating whether to go up. I was actually like the opposite of Kenji. I was gonna either go up or go down. I went down because I felt like 4 was a little high for me. Because while I appreciate everything, as I said, it's pretty accurate what they did with the Ming Dynasty, like depiction. For me personally, when I was watching it and they were watching that drama together with the mom, I'm like, that's still me now with my mom. We're actually watching, what are we watching right now? We're watching Zhifo, and then we're rewatching like what are we watching? Oh, there was like it was a cooking period drama piece. I'm still doing that with my mom to this day. And this is what we do. Like she's like, yeah, like she's gonna stab him in the palace. I'm like, oh, I know that. And it's really funny. And then for me, I was watching it, and so they're like Jade Palace. I'm like, what? Because if you guys don't know, I was like, my thing is Jade Palace, yeah. So it's like I was so torn on that because the pretty accurate depiction, but the reason why I rounded down was because in the end it got too much of the whole stereotypical culture versus acclimating to the Western like culture, and it just became too like verses for me that like even though they kind of compromised in the end, it was still too cheesy for me. And I hated that, like, there were some points it felt like it was really demonizing the traditions, it was demonizing her culture, it was demonizing her mom. Maybe I'm just old and I'm very much that mom age, just being like, oh, maybe, But that's mostly the reason why I gave it like 3 instead of a 4, was because there was just too much of that whole demonizing traditions and culture. It kind of gave me that whole flashback of me bringing jellyfish to school, and then my classmate was like, ew, what is that? And I was like, it was just too much PTSD.
Those what is that? I wish I knew the term "you uncultured swine" when I was 7. That would have been perfect. So let's all teach our children of color. Like, if anybody tries to question your food and your heritage, just be like, I'm sorry, I'm a little more cultured than you are. Thank you, bye. Anyway, Kenji.
Well, like we were saying, I wanted to give it a 3.5, but I gave it a 4 because, I rounded up. I still had a lot of fun with it. There were some moments where I thought were a little bit unbelievable, like, like the compromise that happened. I was like, I'm not sure if I've really seen that compromise happen, but it is interesting that you point out like the demonizing of the culture and stuff like that. I didn't even think about that. If now I feel like if I could take away one of those popcorn buckets, I would, but no, I can't. But yeah, my initial idea, but initially though, I still had a lot of fun on initial watch. Really enjoyed it. It ended with I'm gonna keep saying it. It ended with a kaiju fight. Like, like it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. Like, it definitely reminded me a lot of that era reminded me of that time. Like, because I was in the 8th grade, I think, in 2002. So yeah, that was right at that age. So yeah.
I was in 7. Hold on.
Where were we in 2002? Where was everybody in 2002? Or
John
are we?
Burroughs
Or
Middle
is that a
School.
touchy subject?
How old am I?
Oh.
How old am I?
Well, how old am I today?
Well,
Was it 2002? Was it 2002? Okay.
Oh, I could have been in 8th grade. Like
I was in-
graduated 8th grade
I was in 5th
2003.
grade.
Baby.
You guys are babies. You're all babies compared to me.
Oh, sweet love. Oh man.
Wait. Can we? Well, now that you say that, can we find out where you were in 2002?
I was in my first year of college.
Oh, that's cool.
Wait, JP, I always thought you were like my age.
Yeah, people usually do. I act like it too. No.
You just so cool. Look at you. You're a
Dang.
cool person. Aww. Well, I rated it a 4 personally, just because I'm not obviously May. Like that's obvious, but it did hit all the nostalgia that I treasured in my subconscious. And there was a point where the mom was like yelling at May, and May, like in her little red panda, like, get up, like, you want to see gyrating? Here's gyrating. And she's just shaking and twerking like towards her mom, and I'm like, oh my god. I feel like I did that to my mom at my friend's wedding. Not in an argument, but we were just having fun. It was a wedding. But yeah, I did feel like it was the fairy tale that we all wished we had of, like, intergenerational trauma, and how as much as we wish our parents, or maybe not our parents necessarily, but our parents, if they acted that way and they were willing to have this conversation with us to better our relationship and help us walk through puberty, because that's just a treacherous battle zone in itself, and we all hated it. So like, just having that support would have been amazing. I still don't like the fact that she was like, I don't want to take away my red panda, I want to go to a concert.
Yeah.
But I agree with Yaya and JP. I agree with all of you when you were like, I wish there was a little more story with the dad, other than grandma didn't approve of him, and therefore mama and them got in a fight. She messed her face up, and then now we're married and we got you. And it's just, I want to know their relationship. Like, what kind of, like, how strong was that love that she was willing to just be like, Mom, you can F off. I'm gonna marry the man that I love. He's gonna take care of the house. I'm gonna take care of the temple. And even when grandma's like, it's all your fault, you didn't even raise your child correctly, like, wow. Damn. Things that some of us wish we heard our grandparents say. But we're all good. We're all good and dandy. I did rate it a 4 just for nostalgic purposes. I will check in with the chat really, really quickly. Liza said Lin-Manuel the Seagull in all caps spits out drink. And Eva said the reason I mentioned it should have been in 2D or something close was from the burnout I've been hearing from animators in all levels. The fight was amazing. In 2002, I was in Silmar High, like in 9th or 10th grade. Liza said, if only Sandra Oh could have walked me through puberty in 2002. Sigh, what a time to be alive. And she does say, I love the butterfly clip, Stephanie. Oh, thank you. Amazing throwbacks to 2002.
Throwback.
Yeah. And then the little choker that May did wear, like, when people mention the 2000s and Euphoria things, I'm like, I got you, fam. I got you. I always offer, you want to wear a butterfly clip? Wear a butterfly clip. Because it's so fun. But
and PS and drug awareness videos about the dangers of taking ecstasy. The new
Oh,
Dare.
Oh my god, right?
Dare?
The Dare program.
Oh my god. what was Scruff McGruff or something, the dog mascot.
Chicago,
Oh
Illinois.
my god, yes.
Yo, the 2000s were a hit. The- they were. There was a lot going on, and I feel like millennials, or yeah, we're all millennials here. I feel
Yeah.
like millennials did go through a good amount of trauma just alone in our childhood, that everything that happens now, we don't like it, we'll say something about it, but it's nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
Much sadness. So if you want to see
Emotional
like a little
damage.
emotional damage. But yeah, for anyone watching or listening, if you do want to feel a good 2002 vibe, this movie was pretty good.
Mhm.
I'd say for the 2002s, it was pretty good. And then there's that Hulu show, Pen 15, which we all know spells something else.
Right?
That was my high school, by the way. That my high school. I knew the ASB president got into a lot of trouble because for the graduating class, she made a shirt that said Pen 15, and underneath it said, "Yeah, it's a big deal." I was like, I mean, I can see you
She
getting
needed
like in trouble.
Sandra Oh.
I was like,
Sandra.
I was like, damn, like. She was like, yeah, she was like, I sold about 30 of those shirts and then we got shut down real fast.
Oh no.
Oh, God. Oh, and we were talking about Scruff McGruff earlier, and Liza
Scruff McGruff.
mentions the soundtrack is a banger.
Oh,
Doing
no.
crack and cocaine to get high is a bad thing. God,
Wow.
No one listens to the soundtrack? No one knows the soundtrack we're talking about?
That
no.
part-
Oh my God.
Wait, what?
That's in my
Oh, God.
subconscious closet. I don't like opening that closet door.
Yeah, like there was if you mailed in, they gave you like a tape cassette. You can find it on YouTube. The whole thing is fantastic. It became a trending audio at one point. It's fantastic. It's great. It's bangers.
Oh my
All
gosh.
of them.
Funny. That's something else I have to go watch.
Mhm.
Right? Wow. Okay, well, that's all the time we have left.
That note, as we sing about Scruff McGruff.
We're here to watch, to review Turning Red, and the nostalgia and the family bits and pieces, and we end with Scruff McGruff's soundtrack.
Oh, the nostalgia is strong in this one.
Super. Let's see. Yeah, so that's all the time that we have to talk about Turning Red. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, for listening. Shout out to my guests Yaya, Kenji, and JP. Tell us where people can find you. Let's go with Kenji.
You can find me on Instagram at Kenjinator. You can also find me on Twitch at the Kenjinator, because the other one was taken. And also on Sundays, I do a D&D podcast with my father as the DM. I do it with my family and a few friends. It's a lot of fun. He's great DM. His handle is KD in LA. Unfortunately, we're going to be doing our podcast tomorrow, though, not Sunday this time. So if you want to watch us, tune in tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Aw, yay! JP?
You can find me on Instagram under Rapoetz, RAPOETZ, because I'm a poet.
Aw.
So yeah, just Instagram is my go-to for all this kind of stuff. So yeah.
All right, cool. And Yaya?
Well, you can find me on almost all social media, either at my Hamachi or at JPalaceYaya. You can definitely find me on YouTube, youtube.com/C/JPalaceYaya, where I post videos on Chinese culture, Chinese traditions, Chinese everything. I probably will do a review of this film as well on the channel. And you can also find me on Twitch, where I stream Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the handle for that is my Hamachi.
Yay! Yeah, and Nom Watch review and basic binges are now in podcast form. So if you missed our live streams, don't worry, you can listen to them on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Subscribe and review and tell me that I'm garbage. I'm just kidding. Don't forget to subscribe, though, to our YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us or follow us here on Twitch. All our platforms are at Nom Talk Network. Let's see. Tune in to our next show, which will be on Tuesday, where we're going to review The Evil Dead 2, which will be turning 35 on March 13th. So until then, my name is Stephanie, and you guys have a nomorific day.
Bye. Follow me on TikTok too, Kenjinator. I do
Yeah.
impressions.
Ticket